Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our AIRISE Open Call for SMEs webcast. Today, we are going to see Open Call 4, terms and conditions that apply, and explain a bit what we can get out of that and how we can be of use to you. My name is Harry Bikas, and together with me is also Mr. Ulrich Tombansen from Fraunhofer IoT, technical manager of the AIRISE project. Good morning, Ulrich.
Morning.
So very good to have you here, very good to have our audience here, and hope that we are going to have a session that's useful for you. Before we start, just some ground rules. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat box. We'll do our best to explain what this open call is about and how it can benefit you, but we are almost certain that you are going to have questions, so we will try to answer them towards the end of the session. Type them in and we'll take them from there, and we'll also try to put them on the website later on. If there are additional questions coming up when preparing your application that we won't be able to answer today, feel free to send us an email. You will find our contact details on the AIRISE website. With that being said, let's start our webinar, and welcome again. Let's start from what AIRISE is and who we are and what we do. The overall goal of AIRISE is to support SMEs in the uptake of artificial intelligence in their manufacturing environment. Our focus is to enable manufacturing applications, enable use of AI in manufacturing applications towards improving sustainability. This means reducing waste and reducing carbon footprint of your operations, but also increasing resilience in your manufacturing environment. The way that we do that is through a series of technical services. So we have categorized more or less what we can do in AI in different areas of your factory or of your operations, starting from the engineering and design phase for a product and moving on to manufacturing processes, manufacturing operations, production chain within your factory, and even supply chain. That being said, we don't aim to reinvent the wheel. So we offer support from our side as it regards the AI part, but AI already requires access to a series of market available solutions, such as sensorization, IT infrastructure, etc. We don't reinvent the wheel, so we don't actively support in these areas. However, we orient you on how to procure this from the market, ensuring that you have everything that's needed in place when time comes. Now let's take a look at our open call. Our primary way of supporting you, of supporting manufacturing SMEs, is through our open calls. What our open calls are about. The target group is manufacturing SMEs. And yes, you need to be a manufacturing SMEs, as the main goal is to improve sustainability through the use of AI in your manufacturing operations. This means that software companies or companies that develop AI solutions cannot be directly supported from us. So we want to support manufacturers in this case. What do we offer? We offer our expertise and our support in terms of technical services, but also we offer financial support for your involvement and for your investment in terms of time in this validation experiment. And that support for Open Call 4 can amount up to 40,000 euros, funded at a 70% rate. So if you are a manufacturing SME and you are interested in making your first steps in using AI in manufacturing, you can go to airise.eu/calls. This is our main landing page. There you will find all this information. You will find details about the open call terms and conditions through the guide of applicants. And you will also be able to submit your proposal. The submission procedure is very simple, or we try to make that as simple as possible for you. And it basically consists of 3 steps. At the first step, you run through our AI readiness assessment that can be found in assessment.airise.eu. This will give you a very good idea of where you are in terms of prerequisites that are needed towards applying AI in your manufacturing environment, and it will create awareness within your organization on where you are positioned and if it really makes sense to pursue an AI application in your environment. The next step is to think about the challenge that you are trying to solve, or think about how AI can enhance your operations and can help your business. This will lead to you describing this challenge and be able to outline how AI can help you, but also propose a tangible implementation plan of AI in your manufacturing environment. Last but not least, you also need to quantify the budget that's tied to that effort or to that challenge that you have described. And for that, we have also tried to facilitate and make it a bit easier. So we are providing a template on the submission page on the website that you can directly use to calculate your budget requested from validation experiments. We don't only support validation experiments. We don't only support doing your first steps in AI. We also support manufacturing SMEs that want to scale up use of AI in their manufacturing environment through what we call pilot applications. In this case, you need to have some experience with AI. The key difference here is that pilot applications are aimed towards manufacturing SMEs again, that already have some experience, some positive experience using AI, and have already established that AI can support your business and want to scale that up within your company. The goal here is to start from a proof of concept application that you might have had in the past, that's already there, and increase its maturity in order for you to get a mature solution by the end of the pilot application. Again, the challenge here, or the focus area here, should be around sustainability and resilience, or around resilience. What we offer, we also offer our expertise and our support in terms of technical services, similarly to what we did in the experiments, but with an increased effort also from our side, as well as financial support that in this case can reach an amount of 60,000 euros funded at a 70% rate.
On that, I would want to quickly drop an additional note, especially on the form of technical service that we provide. I mean, Harry was explaining that for the validation experiments, we provide this kind of technical support, and here it's again the same. But both cases are pretty different from our perspective. So if you have like a validation experiment where you just test out an idea, then we might need to support you more in finding sources of data, more in perhaps selecting additional sensors to apply to your machines or to apply to any gates that your goods go through or whatever. In these cases where we talk about pilot applications, and Harry was saying scale up, and we were saying you need to have some sort of pre-experience or to have an application already running, it is perhaps more on supporting you, depends on the case, but it is perhaps more in supporting you to train models. We, as the partners around AIRISE, have a huge number of resources on computers, on computing for doing the training of complex models, which you probably won't have on your shop floor or in your company. And that is kind of the exchange that we envision in these pilot applications. So this scale up just goes to another level, and we have the experts. We put the teams together that can support you on this challenge of scaling up. And that again, also you see that in the kind of in the amount of financial support that we offer to you to provide your people to that application experiment here for the pilots, which is 60K. As Harry was saying. So that just as a perhaps indication of how the difference also from our side is still we have the people there, we put the teams individually together to support you as good as we can.
Thanks, Ulrich. I think that this helps indeed in orienting people a bit better on what would be the best call for them under OpenCall 4, if they would go for an experiment or for a pilot. So again, for this one, for the pilots, the submission procedure is essentially the same. So still through the same landing page, AIRISE.eu/calls. Application form is slightly different because at the end of the day, it is more complex and more involved. So the application form is slightly longer and the templates are slightly different, but overall the procedure is quite similar. So go to our website, explore a bit the different options, and if you have additional questions on the differences, etc., we will be happy to hear them today, or even through an email at a later date. We always aim to get back to you as soon as possible so that you are able to submit in due time. What happens after the submission? Well, before I go to what happens after the submission, first let's quickly mention the submission date. So the first cutoff date is end of September. You still have time to prepare an application for that, and there is going to be a second cutoff date for OpenCall 4 towards the end of the year to be announced after this one. Still, the most important for you at the moment is end of September. So keep an eye on the website for future announcements as well. What happens after you submit your proposal? We go through an evaluation procedure that is transparent and fair to everybody. And for that reason, we involve external evaluators. The whole process starts by an internal eligibility check, ensuring that you meet the criteria laid out in the call for applicants. And then we allocate each proposal to two separate external evaluators. These external evaluators evaluate the proposals across three different criteria: excellence of the idea, quality and efficiency of the implementation, and relevance to the manufacturing industry in Europe. Results are being collected and aggregated. And at the end of the day, a prioritization is being done according to the aggregated score, and the results are communicated to you. As you understand, that's a quite complex process with multiple steps involving multiple people. But our overall goal is to be able to get back to you at approximately 45 days after the submission deadline, and you can see our overall plan and our overall timeline on the slide. Sometimes it might take a few days longer, again, because it's a complex procedure. Sometimes there are evaluation disagreements and consensus need to be reached, so additional evaluations are needed. But these are all minor details. What you should care about is that we aim to be back with you 45 days after the submission deadline. Now, pretty sure that there are going to be multiple questions. We have already collected a few of them. So let's try to scan through them a bit.
Yeah, yes, heard quite often that there was a question from companies saying, okay, we're an IT company, we have a few customers, can we also apply? Well, AIRISE aims to support companies that are in manufacturing, so manufacturing companies that have a shop floor, that do some sort of operations on their shop floor. We also said that there's a budget available to support the activities in such a company. So if such a company wants to put on a person for a couple of weeks, for a couple of months on that project, and perhaps spend some money to buy in some commercial support from an IT company or from an AI company, then that is fine for us. There are limits defined in the guide for applicants. But basically, we support companies that do manufacturing. So direct answer to this one, no. The next question is, we are an SME that designs and sells a product and we want to add functionalities to it. Can we apply on OC4? Again, we aim to support companies that do manufacturing. So if it is a manufacturing product and if the thing that you want to do is concretely on manufacturing steps, then fine. So I don't know who put this question here, but again, it's in the sense we do not support product development for something. We want to support manufacturing operations. Should we select only one of the service groups specified? We have a pretty long list of services. Go to our website, airise.eu/services, and you will find those described. Now, it might be very beneficial to your application or to your application idea to select 2 or 3 services. We also have stated the maximum amount of person months that you will be able to source from us to support you. So again, it is perhaps a discussion at the very beginning of an experiment once we start to work together, but please consider not to select like all of them, which definitely does not make sense. Try to focus on the things that you can't do yourself. If you can do something yourself, then don't select a service. If you can't, then select that service. If you want to grow in that area, you can select a service, then do that. So we are there to support you, to grow you. It's not that we execute the work for you primarily, but it's more to tell you how to do it best. So select those services that are most relevant to you. Free of charge, yes, they are free of charge. Again, that's this maximum 2 or maximum 5 person months that you can source from us, depending on the amount of work that you put into. So that needs to keep a certain balance, but there's no direct payment to us. However, if you would like to engage with us on a commercial basis, then you can also buy services from us. So feel free to file a service request, and then we'll come back to you with a commercial offer. That's also fine. Responsible for the implementation of the AI solution. I currently don't remember the precise answer on the web page, Harry.
I can maybe take that one.
Yeah, then please go ahead.
Although you have already answered most of it through your previous response, in reality, implementation is a joint effort. We provide guidance on the selected service area and support you with AI algorithms towards solving your problem, and you phrased that very, very well. But at the end of the day, we don't do the work for you. We teach you or we help you on how to do the work. So that means that label data to train the AI algorithms, along with anything that's needed towards providing this data, experiment data collection, IT infrastructure, as well as the final deployment, testing, and validation solution lies with you and requires your involvement. At the end of the day, we want to have a solution that's tested and validated in your environment. We believe that it is of your best interest to have a solution that's really in your environment and not in a dummy environment within a university or a research center setting. And we believe that this returns the best outcome to you at the end of the day, because you will be the ones using it. So joint effort, we bring in the expertise through our 14 partners that have a lot of experience collectively and individually in the field of AI. You bring in data and experience about your own manufacturing environment, and together we build a solution that at the end of the day stays with you and you can use it. And as regards the last one, I think that has already been answered by the free of charge kind of thing. We don't need to include the costs of services. We don't need to include the cost of tutors. This is something that we provide free of charge, and your budget is there so that you can reimburse some of the costs of your involvement in the experiment during this joint effort.
Perhaps a short note on this role of tutors. Our idea is that in the case that you select more than one service, then the tutor will accompany you through the entire run of your experiment, of your engagement with us. So the service providers might change if you select different services or if we need additional ones, but this tutor is going to accompany you. He or she knows exactly what you're up to, what your objectives are, and he or she looks after achieving those.
Your AIRISE best friend, we would say. Yeah, thanks for the clarification. I think it's important for people to know that there will be a single contact point for them there, accompanying them throughout their journey and throughout their interaction with us. So thanks a lot for pointing that out. I don't see any additional questions popping up, but again,
seem to be happy.
If there are questions, we are here. I mean, we are here to answer any of those, and we would be glad to see your application. Wrapping up that thing, and you know, having presented just the activity, a few words about the team behind that, just to let you know that you are in good hands. So AIRISE is a consortium of 14 partners. We're distributed throughout Europe. You will see some pretty big names in the field of manufacturing with quite a lot of experience in AI there. So collectively, we're all there to support you. If you feel that you want to reach out and have a discussion with someone in your own language, please feel free to reach out to your local partner. Maybe some of the questions that you might have for the open call might more easily be solved in your own language. So we have quite a broad representation across Europe. Yeah, looking forward to receiving your applications. Hope that you find today's webinar interesting, and see you.